Hey guys, welcome back to Theater Device and FCAV. This is going to be almost more of an FCAV video. It's a theater device job, but we're going to start to do some how-to videos today. Today's going to be how to deal with people that can't wire a house. So, and I say that in a disparaging way. I'm not going to say who the builder is. I'm not going to say who the company that wired it is, but we've got a center channel that's nowhere near center. Not that that matters. I guess you can move it or but you have a hole to patch. That's never a good conversation to have. Nothing is wall plated out. So in a zigzag technique, which I'm sure they did here, at least on the front wall, you have to box out the bottom. It shows you or whoever installing what stud bay you're in. You don't ever use that wire unless you put a floor standing speaker there, but it's just not where you put it. The reasoning is when they don't label these wires, so imagine you've got 7 wires in the room, you've got wires where they're not supposed to be in the ceiling. I'm going to show that to you in a second. But they didn't label them, right? So if you hook up to one of these, then you take your labeling wand, you got to walk around the room and get on a ladder and go up here and go over there and go. I mean, you're literally trying to find a needle in a haystack. If it says rear right or side or front left, at least you know that you're here somewhere and you can find it. It could be 20 minutes per speaker trying to find out which speakers these are, and then it's a crapshoot from there. Whether you cut it. So the first thing that we do when we get past all that and you come in a room and you realize that you're screwed and your day just added 3 hours because people don't know what they're doing. You kind of come in and you have to assess the room with the client. So we've already talked about a lot of things. So what they did was in a room that's this nice, right? And we're putting $50,000 worth of gear in here. You want your side speakers to be on the side, right? And you have sidewall, so there's no reason for it. Now they did wire the rears in the ceiling. I'm kind of okay with that. The back wall is only shifted over half. And if you're wondering, we got some Edward Scissorhands stuff here. We're gonna get to that in a second, but I know it looks ridiculous, as does this bulge over here in my pocket, because he told me he didn't charge the microphone. So if I look real stupid, it's the guy behind the lens and not me. So at least today. So we're gonna come down that wall. So we had to go up there and find the wires that are between the can lights. And there's plywood on top. There's an arch on the other side of this wall in the kitchen area. So the top plates are actually not accessible at all. So if they just wired them down, zigzagged them to the floor like we do, we're good. We have it at any height. We even have it in the ceiling if we want to. But you don't want your side speakers in the ceiling. That's like a side Atmos speaker. It's a terrible location. It reflects off the wall. There's no reason for it. You have sidewalls, put the speakers in the sidewall. So we have to find these top plates. On that one, we actually have to cut a wall plate hole, which you'll probably see at some point in this video. We've got a glow rod up to our people because you can't even get to that top plate. You can't physically get to it to drill down. So we have to create more holes, create more sheetrock mess for the client. And quite frankly, they're upset about it, and they should be. So we're gonna fix this room. We're gonna get it all perfect. But the first thing is, so in this room, my old sales guy, he sold these CWM 8.3Ds. So these are the diamond tweeter version of the in-walls. They're nicest in-walls Bowers&Wilkins makes. We love them. They are meant to go in a back box. That back box is meant to go in before that guy goes in. So we're gonna literally cut out holes the size of those back boxes. We're gonna put them in. He's not gonna patch them until he moves because there's really no reason to. We've told him that you obviously can, and we'll pull the screen down, all of that stuff. But so when you have a screen size 133 in here, you've got huge speakers. I mean, literally the back boxes are 6 feet tall that we have to cut. So when you've got these huge monster speakers and you've got these huge back boxes, you literally have to do like a mapping first. So we're gonna map the wall first, and we'll kind of come back in a second and show you what we did. Hey guys, so chapter 2 or whatever. So I've got this all mapped out. This screen takes up most of the width of this wall, which is a really good sign because, you know, you would normally want a right speaker, you know, here, this is too skinny, you got a double stud here, too close. And out here, you're like, okay, well, is that gonna be exposed, right? So it's not. The customer doesn't want a sheetrock repair or anything until, you know, if he moves, which I wouldn't either because it's gonna be a $1,000 sheetrock repair job over something the screen more than likely covers. So right now we're gonna, first I do my studs at one level, and then I do my, and this is, you know, the beginning of how to hang a screen also, but then you wanna do your screen height. Now in this room, there's no riser, stuff like that. And I've got a tall ceiling, so it's not ideal. Look, you want your middle of your screen to be here ideally. So for the keyboard warriors that are gonna type, I know, I don't care. The screen has to be higher in here for a couple of reasons. One, these back boxes go in and they're a solid back box. You can't do much about it. We're about to run into another stud too, which you'll see. But the Romex goes about this high. When it comes up and goes around a house and framing, it's higher. So I'm trying to sheet it above the Romex because you can't really do anything about that right now. So we're gonna cut our holes in a little bit, but first we're gonna map out that screen. So let's let's measure center of this wall. Flatten that out for me. There you go.
All right, we got 132 3/4.
132 3/4. Can someone get half on that for me? Here, we'll do the ask Siri. What's 132 3/4? You said 132 3/4. Yep. Okay. I need this flattened out more. It's like bending. All right, we're gonna go to the left of this guy. To the left of that guy. Okay. So 117 1/2. Ask Siri. Let's see what Siri says. All right, so go 59 over and put that. I want the right side of the tape at the outer edge. Yep. I'll trade you. Left edge. You said 59?
Yep.
This isn't even out to 59. What happened?
Doesn't lock very well.
All right. All right. Sorry, I know how to do math for the peanut gallery. I just don't care about it anymore, and because I have a phone that does it, I don't need to do it. So the outside of the edge of the screen is going to go all the way to here. I've got a clear stud bay here for my right or for my left front speaker. Right front speaker is going to fit there. I mean, sometimes you gotta put them where it can go. Here, it's a little bit. It's not perfect, right? Center is here. Well, guess what? Can't cut out 2 center points of studs. There could be a 3rd stud here for all I know, and I think that there is. This is a structure point holding up the wall. Cutting this out is dumb. So for the people that tell me the center channel is not right in the center when I show you the picture, I don't care. Don't cut out the center stud here and knock your house down to get perfect sound, or you're a crazy person. So the center channel is going here. We're gonna circle back to what that disaster looks like after these commercials. When you're cutting Romex, when you're scared of the Romex, just go at an angle. What was that? That was weird.
There's spots on there that are hot.
Bro, that burned me.
So almost
Look at that. That's not a hammer, dude.
You had 2 choices, bro.
Oh my God, I'm taking Jared. Me and Jared are taking a pilgrimage to Home Depot.
This is my other one.
That's not a hammer. That's a doctor thing.
This is sick.
That's to test your kneecap. Yeah, that's what that is. That's not anything that you just said. I was about to ask how's it going, but it looks like it's going amazingly well.
Yeah. Just fixing the house.
Yeah, so we've done some retro. So let me kind of catch you up real quick on where this is at. Just kind of, this is going to be a full anatomy episode of really the anatomy of a big custom room going on retro. I mean, if we wired it from the get-go, wouldn't have had any of these problems. But you know, we can overcome really anything. There's nothing that Jason and I haven't done in the field together in the back in the day. So these are your speakers. I know that's not in the center. We've already covered that. This is solid wood right here holding up the ceiling. So we had to go a little off center with the speaker. When it's behind the screen, believe it or not, you're not going to tell that it is 10 inches, 8 inches off center, so it'll be fine. But let me explain some stuff. So this one was fine. This one, the speaker wire in the correct cavity. Right. There's a stud here. The speaker's going to fit perfectly. The center cavity, that's where we had to put the center. We couldn't put it over here, believe it or not. This space wasn't big enough. That space was. That, unfortunately, was where all the wires were, so we had to cut this conduit. Then it gets real fun. So at the top, we had all the wires. The box fills 100% of the cavity. So what we had to do was go above and start drilling over. However, you can't just drill blind through a stud. This is one of the biggest mistakes people make in the field. One of the biggest mistakes even professional installers make is they'll say, hey, I just got to get the wires over there. I'll cut my hole. I'm going to drop them down to myself. No. Let me show you why. That's a PVC pipe. This is hot water. And this is cold water right here. The blue here. If you had drilled through, you would have went right through the cold water. So because we have to pull that off and flex it, we had to cut a hole here to make sure we knew what we were doing. We had to cut a hole at the top, flex that pipe out of the way, drill through, bring all of our wires, if you look up, down through, and we'll kind of untangle those in a second. There's a couple kinked up. We had to bring our wires over and down, but in order to do that, you really have to cut some exploratory holes and make sure you're not drilling into anything. Here's where it gets real fun. I was at Home Depot and came back, and Jason told me that this stud bay here, which we had to go into because this is a no-no, pipes, that's a no-no, it's this tiny. This is the only other alternative we had, is 1/4 of an inch. So we are having to shave inch by inch by inch with a chisel. We're having to shave down 1/4 of an inch all the way up 6 feet tall almost. Just to make it fit. We can't cut this stud out and cut over because this is a double stud, and I'm afraid it's holding up another load here. And we're not engineers, we don't claim to be. We're gonna leave the house intact. Shaving off of an inch is not a big deal. So it's messy work, and it's unbelievable, but we just measured the brackets. We have enough mounting point on the bottom and top, and that's how we're gonna install this. So this 1-day job just became a 2-day job. And this is kind of why you hire professionals. I'm not saying DIYers can't do it, but this is some next level stuff even for us. There's been a lot of challenges on this one, mainly because of the wiring. Because also, if you notice, and this is a real big no-no, there's no speaker wire in that hole, which means to me that it's in the stud to the right or the 2 studs to the right, which is a double stud and then a 2-inch space and then a 3-inch space. So I don't know what this builder wiring company thought we were going to do here or where the speaker wire was going to go, but it's not plated out. There's no way to tell where the speaker wire is. We don't even see it when we look down, so that's a whole other mystery. Maybe it goes up and over, no way to tell, because they didn't plate it out. They didn't show anybody where that wire was, and it can't go there. I mean, quite frankly, no in-wall speaker goes there. The tiny, thin KEF THX speakers, the 4100s that I use all the time for this reason. When I see weird studs in the wall, I got a space like this or tiny studs and I can fit that speaker in there. That fixes these problems. These are big speakers. Sorry, it's really dusty. These are big speakers. So it is what it is. It's going to require a lot more work, but at the end of the day, sheetrock does, bro. Maybe we'll cut that, maybe not. Who knows? But we've got huge speakers in here, but it's just not wired right. So we've had to rewire the whole room. We've had to wire the Atmos. We have 2 more to plug in here. We've got 2 rear already, so it's going to be full 7.1.4. It's super dusty over here. I gotta get out of here. Probably have to go to the Minute Clinic or something. So we've got the rears. We've dropped those down. They wired them in the sides before. On this one, there was no way to get to that attic space, so we had to drill up from here. He's okay with sheetrock repair all across there anyway. Drop the speakers here. These are installed finally. Those are installed, and it's ready for tomorrow for some finish out. After all the sheetrock repair is done, after the speakers are in, and this doesn't look like this anymore, we'll do a full walkthrough, and I'll come back and I'll do a final calibration. We can do a walkthrough of the room finished out, calibration of the room, and we'll see you after we cut. Hey guys, kind of a weird video, a little bit just, I only say that because if you're coming into this and this is the beginning of the video, just keep watching. This is going to be the end of a video, and finish that intro in a second. However, we shot this as kind of a how the sausage is made video because this room was very, very, very difficult. This room is the reason why you know, when people tell me they're DIYing their project, I kind of like shudder, because some rooms are easy to work in and some rooms you get in and there's every surprise you can imagine. It's not going to look like any of that happened in here now, or whatever. But so if you're already watching my full install video, which I'm going to upload this and that together, continue watching. If you're just watching from the beginning, you just get to see the end. I'm going to upload them both. So if you don't want to watch all the sausages made stuff, you don't have to. So now that you did or didn't see how this room came about, you get to at least see what it looks like now. After some probably cool B-roll and some cool music he cut in. So one of my favorite aspects of this room, even though there's a lot to talk about in here, is the room acoustics. I don't touch on it a lot because not everyone sees value in it, in my clients, even if I tell them about it. But this room, as you can even tell just from my voice, it's not super dead. It's still reactive, but only in a good way. So these are the Vicoustics. The Vicoustics panels. I'll put up the model number of them, of course. I think they're the Cinema Rounds, these guys. So these things, they look sexy on the wall. On top of that, they're spaced out, you know, to hit the reflection point. So the way that acoustics works, of course, if you don't know, is you kind of take, you know, either a laser and a mirror, that kind of thing, and you hit first reflection points. The most important thing is the back wall. So we covered as much of the back wall as we could. We went above and below. We've got lights and thermostats and stuff like that in the corner. He already had Vicoustics bass traps, so he put that in. And actually, believe it or not, the customer put, if he pans around really slowly, sorry, the customer actually put another bass trap above there. And at first, I didn't know if it would do anything, but it did actually make the room sound a little better. It also looks kind of cool with that Salamander stand below because it's white. And again, you couldn't fit that. He wanted a big screen, so there was no chance that that bass trap was ever going on the front wall anyway, so it doesn't matter. And it just happened to fit right above the screen. So it's really, really cool and actually did something, killing that angle there. So, you know, we've got first reflection points on the side here, obviously, so there's going to be less ricochet with the speakers back and forth. He's actually going to put more of the diffusion panels down the middle of that. They didn't come in on time. He actually bought them before we even did the room from another company, and for some reason they're just not shipping them, so he's trying to return them, and we'll probably stick them in the middle of that. But for now, the room sounds great. It looks great. What's in the room is full Bowers&Wilkins. So what's behind the screen there, as you saw or didn't see in the video before this, are the, but we'll pop them up like, you know, here somewhere and you can see how big they are. But what's behind there are the backboxed 8 series in-walls. So they are the largest in-walls that they make. They are fully backboxed and only work with the backbox. They actually don't even install in a room. So believe it or not, and you might have seen this in the video before, but the speakers themselves are actually taller than this screen. So this screen is a 133, and the speakers actually go down to here. So when we cut these back boxes in, this was all retroed. They're actually, and they did not fit between the studs and this whole other thing, and there was pipes in the wall and just an absolute, like, it's crazy what's behind this screen. But we had to have the whole wall repatched because when they go in retro, the brackets are actually below and above. So you can't even just cut the size of the screen, even though the speaker itself is literally the size of that screen. We had to cut 4 inches top and bottom just to get the brackets in and then have the whole wall repatched and redone. I did the patch guy actually put a screw through one of the speaker wires, so we had to come and cut a hole and repair the speaker wire. Luckily, the hole was behind the screen, but this is the kind of stuff, it's just an epic amount of work to get it to look like this. But so here's what's in here. So we've got a 133 slate AT screen with the Bowers&Wilkins 8 series behind it. He already had one of them, and we sold them the other 2 in the back boxes. So it's an absolutely unbelievable sound. I mean, it literally sounds like they're like their Diamond Series floor standing speakers are behind the screen. Just unbelievably musical. Great stuff. Two of my favorite subs in the world. We've got the Fathom 110s. So these here are the 10-inch versions of the Fathom speakers. This room is probably only 13 deep by like 11. So it's a really, it's a smaller theater. So I told him to go with the 10s. He really wanted to step up into the 12s and the 13s, but I said, look, let's just go with these 10s first. If for whatever reason you're unhappy with it, we'll swap them out, but I don't think you're going to be there. They are shockingly deep, powerful subs for the size. I mean, they're not a huge subwoofer, but they sound 10 times their size in quality and just overall, you know, power. We've got the Salamander. This is their Milan series. I show it in my showroom as well. Center channel being behind the screen. We didn't need to go with the 245. So this is their 247. Just a super sexy stand in here with all of the white panels and the white GIC acoustics, the white sconces. Really cool design aspects in here. A lot of creams and whites and grays that all go really well together. Design is still really big with me. Things can look good and sound good. So I really love it quite a bit. Let's go inside the cabinet and see what's going on in here real quick. And we'll do some B-roll and you can see it closer, a little pan throughs. But in here we've got a big Marantz receiver. It's a new Cinema 60. We've got Kscape in here, Apple TV, Blu-ray player, all the goods. And then because we all know me with big speakers behind the screen, we've got to have an amp. So that's the Halo A31, one of my favorite amps on the planet, and an amp I own myself. That is powering the diamonds across the front, 250 watts by 3. Got the Sony 4K Blu-ray player for physical media, because he already has physical media. So, you know, the acoustics, I do want to touch on it a little more. You know, it's very important to get acoustics, you know, to the sides of where you're sitting. That way you're not getting ricochet effect. The back wall being the most important, because the center channel you'll hear more than once in the live room. We've got acoustics throughout the ceiling too, between the speakers. It's actually spaced out really well, so it happens to sound good. It fixed a lot of the anomalies in the room and look really good. If he pins, I wish it wasn't on this 35 seconds to skip thing on the screen, but this is only the Sony 5000 ES, so it's the least expensive Sony. He's a video guy, but you know, he didn't want to spend a ton of money there. The room all in's about 50 grand as it is, because most of it is in, you know, ultra high-end audio and things like that. Kscape, things like that, of course, started to add up. But that Sony 5000 ES is a shocking projector. Just an absolute beast. I mean, it's unbelievably bright. Just looking at it, in my opinion, it's brighter than the Epson LS12000. And I know that's not on paper true, but I'm telling you right now, I've sold that projector 150,000 times, I think, and it's not this bright. So can you grab that remote real quick and hit that skip button for me? Hit enter. Hopefully that'll go away, but there we go. So this is just real video, obviously, right? So we're not, you know, photoshopping anything on the screen. I mean, this is with 6 can lights on and 4 sconces. So there's 10 lights on in here, and it still looks like that on a slate screen. Great color accuracy. I could absolutely watch it with this much light on, but I really enjoy this projector quite a bit. It's got a lot of detail. The first thing I notice about it is actually is the movement. It's handling movement really well, which only Epsons are usually known for, gaming and stuff like that. It handles movement really well. Same chipset as the JVC, a little bit different electronics, but they care about it just as much. A lot of detail in those trees there, even at this distance. Really awesome. So, so full recap: we've got Parasound, we've got Marantz, JL Audio, Fathoms, which is phenomenal. We've got both Vicoustics and GIC acoustics in here, a mixture, because you already had some of this stuff, so we just utilized it. And Bowers&Wilkins all the way to their Diamond Series in walls. We'll cut in some pictures, you know, or screenshots of the video of what's behind the screen. It's not pretty back there because we had to hack up that whole wall to do it, and we didn't want to. That's actually a structural wall, so we didn't want to change it too much. So it was a lot of work, but this is what we call in AV a labor of love. When the room ends up like this and it looks this good at the end, I don't care that it was a 4-day install and we only charged for 2. It is what it is. It just ended up just being absolutely badass. hope you enjoy it. Hope you get some design cues from it, ideas from it. And I'm sure you'll drop some comments, because you just can't help yourself, can you? And we'll talk to you soon. I got other videos dropping too. Thanks. Hey guys, I just wanted to thank you for listening to whatever I was just rambling about. And of course, if you are in the Dallas area or surrounding areas and you can get here, visit our showrooms in Frisco or Southlake location. And now we can help you anywhere, from anywhere in the country, through the world's first mom and pop shop on the internet called FCAVsystems.com. We are very excited about this project. We're happy to bring what Theater Advice does here in Texas to everyone. Thanks for watching.